Hey, what's up you guys, it's Connor, and this is the last wrap up for 2016. I'm actually filming it in 2017, so I'm sorry about that. I was really busy and traveling. I went to Canada, so yeah, Happy New Year. And I'm probably going to continue this format of doing wrap-ups in 2017. Today I'm going to be continuing my 2016 reading wrap-up with books 136 through 140. The 136th thing that I read is Leviathan by Scott Westerfeld. This is the first book in the Leviathan trilogy series? Trilogy, but I don't know what it's called. In this alternate steampunk world, there are what's called the Clankers, who really believe in the invention of machines and everything like that. They have these war machines. The people that believe in the beasts and have beasts for their war efforts are called the Darwinists, and they have used different genes from different animals to make mutants that are able to accomplish goals like making a hot air balloon out of a living whale. Alec is from the Clanker side and Darren is from the Darwinist side. In this book, I liked seeing the two different sides. Darren and Alec have very different situations, obviously, and so seeing them explore this world and grow up in this world was very interesting to me, and I really liked seeing how the Darwinist environment and the Clanker environment affected how the two children thought about the other side. This book is also illustrated, which I really enjoyed, so that is the whale airship. I don't remember what it's called. And they're pretty much throughout the book. The one thing with the drawings was that I wish that they were one page later, because they tend to spoil the scene that they're about. They always show up the page before the scene happens, and I wish it was the opposite, where you would read the scene and then see the picture. But I guess that's just formatting and what they wanted. Also, the beginning of this book wasn't very compelling. I found it easy to put down, and so I ended up putting it down and reading another book first and then coming back to finish it. So I think the beginning could have been a bit more intense and kept me going a little bit better. After a certain point, I think maybe 120 pages, I ended up getting really invested, and so I read the story very quickly after that. It ended up that I really enjoyed this book. I gave it 3.5 stars. I think that the series will definitely get better as they go along, because in this one, we're just learning about the world and learning about the characters, and I think in the next one, we're really going to explore the world dynamic and this very heavy tensioned European area. The next book I read is Arcanum Unbounded by Brandon Sanderson. This is the Cosmere collection of short stories that have to do with the Cosmere universe. The Cosmere universe is basically where all of Brandon Sanderson's adult novels take place, and a lot of the short stories and novellas that are in here have to be read in a certain order. I did a book review on this, a non-spoiler book review on this, so I'll leave that up in the card symbol, and you can check that out to find more out about the different stories and where you should read them and everything like that, because I do not want to spend the time going through every single one here again. I ended up giving this bind up 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. Some stories were better than others, but there are a lot of good stories, and so I ended up giving this 5 stars. I love Brandon Sanderson. I then picked up and read The Candy Shop War by Brandon Mull. This follows 4 children that are in this very small town where they get involved with this woman who makes candy that have magical powers. I really enjoyed this book. I gave it 4 stars. I really liked that this book explored who you should trust, and your first impression of someone is not always correct, and so you shouldn't stay loyal to that first impression, and you should continuously gather information and decide on your own what is morally correct and what isn't, and you have to be able to make those decisions by yourself and not follow the rest of what people are saying. Brandon Mull is one of my favorite middle grade authors, and he does a really good job in this one as well. It's probably my least favorite middle grade series that he's done, just because I think the characters are a little bit younger and it's not as fantastical, and you guys know that I like fantasy. But I did really enjoy and am looking forward to reading the second and final book in the duology, because I just have no idea where he's going to take the story from where this one left off. But trust me, I will find out in 2017. The second to last book that I read in 2017 is Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard, The Hammer of Thor, the second book in the Magnus Chase series by Rick Riordan. This book is actually supposed to be read after the companion novella book that goes along with the Magnus Chase series, so I do suggest that you read the companion book, which is the Valhalla Guide to the Norse Gods or something like that, before you read this one. Rick Riordan is another one of my favorite middle grade authors, and so I had pretty high expectations going into this book. I did really enjoy the first one. I really loved the amount of diversity that he included in that first book, and he actually bumps that up and has a lot of diversity in this one as well, even more so than he had in the first one. The only thing with the way that he did it is that it seemed almost like, here, I included this, here, I included that, and I don't know, I felt like he could have done it more smoothly, and it did seem like he had formed this list of diverse people and he was just checking them off as he was writing these books, being like, yep, I've got that group, yep, I've got that type of person, yep, I've got that race, yep, I've got that sexual orientation. And I don't know, it just felt really weird to me at first. And then towards the later half of the book, it became a lot more smooth and a lot less show and tell. And I loved the diversity that he added. It just seemed very clunky in the beginning, and then he got into his groove towards the later half. As for the plot, I really enjoyed the plot. I thought that it was a little bit predictable, but I really did enjoy it. I ended up giving this book 4 stars just because I had some problems with it towards the beginning, and also some things that I didn't like about the first book continued into this book, but I definitely will be continuing with the series. This should also be read after the Trials of Apollo first book, so I definitely suggest that you read Rick Riordan's books in publishing order and not just pick up whatever series that you think is the most interesting. It definitely pays off to read all the books in publishing order. And the final book that I read in 2016 is Simon Thorne and the Viper's Pit by Amy Carter. I did a book review for this as well, and I will leave it up in the card symbol and you can check it out if you want to, but this is the second book in a series, so I don't feel like going much into detail about it, but it follows a boy named Simon Thorne who is able to turn into an animal, and the rest of his family are able to turn into animals. They're called animal gams, and then he goes on this crazy adventure to try to save the animal gam world, because there's 5 kingdoms. I was gonna say kingdoms, but there's 5 kingdoms. Check out my review of either this book or the first book if you want to learn more. So those are the last 5 things that I read in 2016. It has been a very intense reading year for me. I think this is the most I've read ever. This coming year will definitely not have as many reading wrap-ups because I will be reading less, but I look forward to all the books that I will be reading in 2017. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and comment down below what the last book you read in 2016 was. Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? Let me know your thoughts down below, and I will talk to you guys next time.